Are you looking to get jacked like me? Do you want to go from this to this in just 3 months? Well, I got news for you, bucko. Get ready to do a lot of fucking steroids. Hey guys, how's it going? Alright, so my name is Ronny Cameron, and I'd like to actually explain to you guys how I was able to transform my body in just 3 months. So I train about 6 to 7 days a week, and I'm able to do that because I don't do any physical labor outside of the gym. I'm very much fortunate in that regard. Now, I know a lot of you aren't necessarily in that position. Maybe you're a construction worker, maybe you're a mechanic, maybe you're an electrician. You're working with your hands every day. You're carrying heavy loads, you're putting stress on your joints. So it might be unrealistic to work out 6 or 7 days a week. But hey, at least you're getting somewhat of a workout when you're actually at work. You got to go into the gym focused. You got to go into the gym enthusiastic with energy. You got to be really looking forward to getting those gains. I could even argue that intensity and willpower is more important than having a well-designed routine. If we look at, say, people who go to prison for long periods of time, a lot of those guys who work out, let's face it, they're not necessarily training the smartest. They're not necessarily getting the best nutrients, yet they're able to get jacked. How are they able to achieve that? It's because they have intensity. They have willpower. They're going into that weight room like an alpha man to get the job done. And that mentality, guys, you can't teach it. You just got to have it. And if you don't have it, you got to create it. You got to will it into existence. And I don't want to sound cringe or cheesy or anything, but willpower and having the correct attitude is equally as important as diet or having an intelligent workout plan. And I guess I should also combine consistency into that equation as well. If you're not working out consistently, you're just not going to get the gains that you want. A rule of thumb for me anyways is begin your workouts lifting really heavy, building strength, building power. Then during the middle of the workout section, concentrate on mid to higher repetitions, like 8 to 12 reps of moderate weight, and you're really going to build your muscle. You'll feel that lactic acid, you'll feel that pump sensation in the muscle. And then finally at the end of the day, or towards the end of the day, you want to work on conditioning, building up endurance, and really sculpting the muscle. You can build muscle as you're cutting fat. You can shape and define as you're bulking. My routine is based on a 4-day cycle. I begin with biceps and forearms, then I move on to chest, shoulders, and triceps for day 2. Day 3, I will do back, and then finally day 4, I do legs. And then I repeat that cycle. No breaks, guys. No breaks whatsoever. Alright, so let's get into the specifics of the exercises that I incorporate into my workout routine. Okay, so day 1, biceps and forearms. So I start the day off with doing heavy dumbbell curls. I get up to 50 pounds, but of course I do a warm-up before I begin doing my heavy lifting. It's important to begin with a warm-up before the first exercise of every workout day because you want to strengthen and warm up the muscles and the connective tissues before you start doing your heavy lifting. Right after the dumbbell curls, I go to an easy bar curl. And I do drop sets with the easy curl. So I'll start off with maybe 110 pounds, 100 pounds, depending on how fatigued I feel after that 50-pound dumbbell curl. I'll do about like anywhere from 4 to 6 reps, again going really heavy, but then I immediately drop the weight and I do another set with like only a 5-second break. Basically just enough time to allow myself to pick up the next easy curl bar on the rack. Then I'm going to drop it to about 80. For the next set, I'm going to go up with the repetitions to about 6 or 8. Then I'm going to drop it another 20 pounds, maybe go down to 60. And then I'm going to do about like 10 reps. And then for my final set, I'm going to drop it down to really anywhere from like 20 to 50 pounds and just burn out with that amount of weight. The drop set allows for the various energy systems to get hit. I'm not going to go too far into the science, but basically you're targeting 3 different areas of growth or gains. And then I move on to hammer curls. I do about 6 to 8 reps with hammer curls, 3 sets. Then after that, I do incline dumbbell press, about 8 to 10 reps. I'll move on to some cable curls. I'll do some overhead curls. And then I do wrist curls, forearms. I do reverse curls for the back of the forearm, and I do some isolation curls with the wrist, and every now and then I'll do some supination and some pronation. So moving forward, day 2, chest, shoulders, and triceps. I start the day off with bench press. I do heavy lifting, 3 sets of 6, then I move on to incline, decline, then I do some cable crossovers. After that, I move to shoulder press. I want to make sure that I do my shoulder press not too late into my workout so that I still have power to really press. After I do 3 sets of 6 with the shoulder pressing, I just take a 45 and I just lift it over my head. I do a bunch of lifts, basically 2 sets of burnouts. After I finish doing my power flies with the shoulders, I move to some tricep extensions. And I try to get that tricep extension workout in just before the hour mark into my workout session. And I'll explain why. After about an hour into an intense workout session, your body is not able to create ATP in the same ways that it is before the hour mark. Basically, your lactic acid system isn't functioning at full capacity, your ATP-PC system isn't functioning at full capacity, and you're really dependent on aerobic and your fatty acid system to get energy. So you want to make sure that you do really intense lifting before that hour mark. So I do tricep extensions, first workout, I go really, really heavy, really, really hard, break a little bit of form, get that full rack in there. Do what you got to do to get that weight down. The triceps want to lift heavy weight. They want to perform fast, they want to perform hard. That's the way the triceps function because it's primarily fast twitch muscle fibers. We do some overhead extensions. I go on the bench, do some flat bench extensions to really target this muscle here. And I'm telling you guys, doing flat bench presses single arm, that's how you get like this lightning bolt type of pattern here with your triceps. And then we end the day by doing some decline pressing. I'll do single arms, really just to pump up the chest. With decline press, you're not really trying to lift that heavy. You want to think of how quality of a contraction you're getting when you're doing a decline press. And following the decline, I will work on the rear delts. I'll do some what I call swims, where you're basically just going like this with the pec deck machine, or you take cable cross and you expand like this. But basically any motion like this, and you're really going to target the back of the shoulder. You get a full stretch when you extend, and then when you bring it back, that's when you get the contraction, and you're really targeting the rear delt. Moving forward, we get to back. When I work out my back, I work out the lower back, the middle back, the upper back. We got the lat pull down. We do a bit of deadlifting. The one thing that I'll mention though is in between my pulls, so say I do some rows, then I do a lat pull down, then I'll move on to abs. I kind of split out my back routine with abs because I don't like to burn out my wrists and my forearms. So if I finish my pulls, rows, lat pull down, all that kind of stuff, I'll just jump right into abs, and then I'm feeling fresh for later when I'm doing traps or deadlifts or what have you. And finally, we move on to legs. Like I said, I save legs for last. I'll begin the day with doing some leg press. I haven't really got into squats yet. It's something that I'm going to get into in the future, but for now I find leg pressing is perfectly fine. Then I do my extensions, I do curls. Then when I hit calves, I just go like insane. Small amounts of breaks, big breaks. I'll sit there for 25 minutes working on my calves. You know why? Because it's one of the weakest, smallest muscle groups in my body. And I find when you train hard on the weak muscle groups, you experience the most growth. And you experience that growth very quickly in comparison to other muscle groups. Whatever's weakest on you, whatever's smallest on you, that will grow fastest. That will grow the quickest because it's still early on the growing curve, so to say. So really target those weak muscles, guys. And before we end this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about diet. Make sure you get your macros, guys. Make sure that you get enough calories. Make sure that you get enough protein. You get enough carbs. That's first and foremost. That's fundamental. You can calculate how much protein and carbs and whatnot you need. You can take that upon yourself, but it is very important. In terms of your micros, which are, your minerals and your vitamins and whatnot, it's important to get vitamin C. It's very important to get vitamin A, because that's going to help and aid in building up your connective tissues and your muscles, your ligaments, your tendons, your muscles. It's going to make you healthier. It's going to make you stronger, more resilient to fatigue. I also got to mention, load up on carbs before workouts, load up on protein after workout, but you guys know that. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. If you did, please leave a like. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be producing more content soon for you guys, and I'm eager to hear your response in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Tell me your own personal story. Tell me what you think of this video, what you would like to see in so far as future content. So until the next time, guys, remember, if you ain't full rockin', then you're just slacking.